Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, c'est lundi le 3 janvier. It is a new year, 2022. Couple reminders over here as usual, mostly important now because you want to make sure that you get everything in before semester one. Oops, I said quarter three, I meant quarter two. Semester one / quarter two ends, which is a week from Friday. So just make sure that you have everything taken care of in the gradebook, because otherwise you will end up with zeros and we don't want that. Okay, cette semaine, this week we're going to have a very similar week to our typical ones. You'll have deux discussions, one of which is today. You'll have some TPR, we'll have a song of the week. You'll have a translation, une traduction. You'll do your flip grid or meet. We will have a meet on Wednesday, mercredi. We'll have une personne spéciale at that meet, and then we'll have the quiz on that, and then finally the quick write. So quick write, because it's the end of the quarter / semester, you're going to have what's called a quick write reflection document that I will provide to you on Friday. And that document will kind of ask you to, as the name implies, reflect on your previous quick writes and kind of look at how you've progressed throughout the quarter. And then finally, we can weekly check-in and Muzzy. Le mot de passe. Il y a un nouveau mot de passe aujourd'hui. Et c'est bonne année. Bonne année. Bonne année, say Happy New Year. So make sure you put that into your cahier as follows. Bonne année, Happy New Year. Voila. Okay. Aujourd'hui, c'est lundi le 3 janvier, c'est une nouvelle année. As you saw with bonne année literally means good year. Nouvelle année, say new year. So that word année means year. How would you maybe figure that out if I hadn't just told you? Think about words in English that imply a year that have part of that word in it, one of those roots. So if you have an annual visit to the doctor or an annual family reunion, it's something that happens once a year. So the word annual and the word année both refer to a year, and they come from that same Latin root. Okay, est-ce que tu as fait des bonnes résolutions? Résolution, similar to the English word resolutions, and it obviously, since we're talking about the new year, that's a topic that we hear of a lot. So I want you to see if you can take a look at this this video and see what these people answered about leur bonne résolution. And then I want you to take a look at some things in your life that you are going to do more or going to do less. So I want you to use wordreference.com. And I like wordreference.com because it gives you a lot of background to the word. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So we want to do something more, to do something less. So we're looking for action words. We're looking for verbs. So we need to look up a word and make sure that it is, in fact, the verb and not a different form of the word. So let me just give you an example of what that means. Maybe I want to study more. I want to study more. So I'm looking for that letter V, which tells me it is un verbe. So étudier is the word I want to use there. So I would go back to this sentence and I would write je vais étudier plus. Now, a study, although this is probably less of how you look at the word study, can also be a room and therefore a noun. That's where you see the letter N there. It can be like if you're doing a study, or if when they were developing the COVID vaccines, there were studies to see if the vaccine would be effective. So a study can also be, like this says, a document of some sort that shows results of some kind of a test. So in that case, it's also a noun, étude. So in these two cases, we're looking at nouns. We want to make sure we have a verb because we don't want to, well, actually, because we want to do that thing. We want to study more as a verb. So anyway, all of that to say, that's why I like word reference, because you get these different meanings of the word, and you get to make sure you're using the correct one for your purposes. So here, since we need a verb, we use the little one that says vais. We use étudier. Je vais étudier plus. What's another one we could look up? What would we want to do? Maybe less. Do we want to procrastinate less? So procrastinate, again, we're looking for a verb because it's something we want to do less, right? A verb is something you do. So we do see the vais here. That shows us that we have what we're looking for. However, we don't have a direct translation for the word procrastinate. Remettre au lendemain literally means to put off until tomorrow or the next day. Remettre à plus tard, to put off until later. So you could say, je vais remettre au lendemain moi. Je vais remettre à plus tard moi. So you would just plug what you see in here. You would plug that into your sentence. En 2022, je vais remettre au plus tard moi. Je vais remettre au lendemain moi. So using word reference is one option. You can also use these bonne résolution from this image over here. Some of them you're not going to understand. Garder mon AAA. Tenir mes bonnes résolutions. You understand that it means to keep my resolutions. Some of them, though, you might be able to figure out. Manger, we know. La classe mange. Et moins, we know, means less. So you could say, je vais manger moins. Not necessarily healthy for every single person, but you can use that, of course. And faire du sport, that one we know, right? To do sports or to exercise. So je vais faire du sport plus. So anyway, plug one of these in or use word reference. Make sure you're using a verb. And then answer these, or rather kind of rewrite these questions in the discussion. Okay, la traduction, we are only looking at 2 paragraphs of Le Sapin Méchant. So this is from the little couple of days before Christmas break. We had this write and discuss, copy down 2 of the paragraphs, and then go ahead and translate those 2 paragraphs, any 2 you want. And then lastly, I want you to take a look at our weekend talk for this week. It's going to be about just more than the weekend, obviously, since we had a longer break. So you see, qu'est-ce que tu as fait pendant les vacances d'hiver? Pendant, during, les vacances d'hiver, winter vacation. So you can say, j'ai voyagé, voyagé. J'ai beaucoup mangé. J'ai dormi. Je suis allé chez mes grands-parents. Je suis allé au cinéma. J'ai passé du temps avec ma famille. J'ai reçu des cadeaux. So all of these are great answers to answer that question. So like we've done a few times in the past, we're going to go ahead and use one sentence à l'affirmatif. What did you do? One sentence au négatif. What did you not do? I'll have more information on that the day that we actually present these. In the meantime, though, if you want to go ahead and do what we've done in the past and put your name in a text box next to the activity that you did, especially if you're at our meet on Wednesday, it's helpful for me to have that kind of heads up as to what your answers are going to be able to help you. If you don't see this, it's no big deal. Okay, et c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. Au revoir tout le monde.